Joining me here on the chancel steps are two folks I hope you already know, but if you don't, let me introduce them to you. Shana Gaines and Anna Hines are coming, and we're going to have a conversation about an important subject of ministry that you may not fully understand what Wilshire is doing with this. We, with the leadership of Joan Hammonds in particular, have a ministry to foster care and adoptive parents. And there are several aspects to that, but one we want to talk about today is the important work of CASA in supporting foster parents. So if you're not in the know, CASA is not just the Spanish word for house. It is an acronym for Court-Appointed Special Advocate. And we're going to learn a bit about that today because Anna Hines is a CASA. And Anna, tell us what that is that you do.
CASA is a nonprofit organization that was implemented to provide training and supervision of volunteers to help children who are in protective care by the state. So as a CASA, we support the CPS workers and the courts because they can't be everywhere all the time. There are just more children in foster care than there are judges and attorneys and CPS workers to help. So we follow the child throughout their foster placement and advocate for them on any issues that they may have.
And Anna, while we're on that subject, how did you come to be doing this and why are you doing this?
I worked an awful lot, and I worked and I worked. And I always said that when I got to the point where I could really volunteer and do something, I wanted to do something that was very important to me. My granddaughter's adopted, so that adoption and the fostering and all of that meant a lot to me. And I have a passion for children, so I looked at CASA as a place to see if I would fit in. And it has been an absolute joy.
And how does your Christian faith propel you into this?
It's so interesting that my first placement, the family is very, very active in church, and we connected spiritually, and it was a great relationship because everything that we did and talked about the best interest of that child was really faith-based, and I could feel my presence and their presence connecting, and I said, this is a God thing. It really is a God thing because we were definitely on the same page and we had the same desires and goals and hopes for the child. And anything we ever did, we knew that it was Christ-centered because we always spoke about it. We talked about it, we prayed about it. Whenever we would meet, that husband and that wife, we always prayed. And they were just so passionate about it. And I just felt like it was my way of, God led me to them as my first, and I'm hoping that in the future I have an opportunity to have that type of relationship. I may not, but I think that if I don't, I hope that being a Christian and the parents and the foster families will see something in me that will help them too.
That's a beautiful testimony, Anna. Thank you so much. Well, Shana and her husband are foster parents, and they benefit from the services of a CASA. And so, Shana, tell us a little bit about how your interaction with this program has come to be through being a foster parent.
Well, I think no matter what kind of training or what relationships you have prior to interacting with the system, nothing really prepares you for interacting with the system and the many frustrating things about it. One of the things that frustrated us right off the bat is the fact that as foster parents, we really have almost no voice in the courtroom. And through the relationship with our CASA, our concerns for our child were able to be voiced. She has been in contact with us almost constantly, updating us, finding out what's going on with our child, and has been instrumental in helping us navigate some of the frustrating aspects of the system, for sure.
So tell us a little bit about why you came to be a foster parent and how that's working out for you.
Well, for years, this is something I've been interested in doing, and it was something I always said, I'll do that after I have biological children and they get older. Well, that didn't quite work out the way I wanted it to. So we went ahead and started the fostering as a kind of a way to give back. That seemed to be the best way for us to build our family and build our relationships.
And what has that experience been like, and what advice do you have to someone who might consider becoming a foster parent?
Well, it has been way more emotional than I anticipated. We absolutely have gotten so much out of fostering and developing relationships with other foster parents as well. And everyone always says, I'd get too attached. Well, if you get too attached, you're doing it right. And the thing is that if our child does go to another home or a relative, there are so many cases where you can maintain relationships, and so that has helped ease our fears substantially.
So one last question for you, and that is, how does your Christian faith inform why you're doing what you're doing?
Well, the Bible commands us to care for widows and orphans. And in this case, an aspect of it that I didn't quite fully explore before getting involved is the impact that we can have on multiple generations of a family by becoming involved in a positive way and intervening in their situation. And I really feel like this is what God has called us to do.
Again, a beautiful testimony. Thank you so much. If you would like to know more about becoming a foster parent, either of these folks can help you. Talk to Joan Hammonds as well. If you'd like to know more about becoming a court-appointed special advocate, and you do not have to have a law degree to be a CASA, right? Anyone who's willing to give time and to love children and support them can become a CASA. Anna or Shana, either one, could tell you more about that. Thank you both so much.